The dust from a 100-mile ride clung to Bear's leather jacket like a second skin. He swung his leg off the Harley, the engine giving one last shudder before falling silent. The man they called Bear didn't hunt trouble, but his weathered face, thick gray-streaked beard, and deep-set eyes said he knew exactly how to handle it when it came looking. He just wanted real coffee and a slice of homemade pie. The roadside diner with its buzzing, "Eat" neon sign looked promising. Halfway to the door, a tiny hand gripped his sleeve, insistent, trembling. He froze. Looking down, he saw a girl, maybe 7, pale as ash, eyes huge with terror. Her knuckles blanched white against the scarred leather. "Please," she whispered, voice nearly lost to the wind. "Please help my grandma." Bear crouched slowly, knees popping. "What's wrong, little one?" His voice rumbled low, like distant thunder. She shook her head, eyes darting to the diner's window. "They won't let her have her water. She needs it." Through the glass he saw an elderly woman in a booth, rigid, staring at an untouched glass of water. Her hand hovered, never quite touching it. Across from her sat 2 clean-cut men in polos and slacks, out of place in this greasy spoon. They exchanged a glance, one shook his head subtly. The woman's hand jerked back as if burned. Bear's gut turned to ice. This wasn't family dinner. It was control, in plain sight. "Okay," he said softly to the girl. "I'll help. What's your name?" "Lily." "Go back inside, Lily. Sit down, eat your pancakes, don't look at me. Can you do that?" She nodded jerkily, released his jacket, and slipped through the door like a shadow. Bear rolled his shoulders and pushed inside. The bell jingled cheerfully. He ignored the counter and took a booth behind them, using the window's reflection to watch. He lifted a menu but never read it. The grandmother, Anna-Lara, had fine silver hair and paper-thin skin, hands trembling despite clasped fingers. The 2 men, Robert and Richard, radiated quiet menace. The waitress approached their table. "Anything else?" "We're fine," one dismissed. "I would like some more water," Anna-Lara said thinly. A hand clamped her arm, too hard for comfort. Now, you know the doctor said no excess liquid. Your feet swell." Her face crumpled. Lily cut one pancake into endless tiny squares, never eating, eyes wide with fear. Bear ordered black coffee and a glass of water. He drank the coffee, left the water untouched, and watched. One man slid papers across the table with a pen. "Just a few more signatures, Lara. Then you're settled. No more worries." "I don't know, Robert. It feels rushed." "It's for your own good," Richard added. Lily's gaze met Bear's in the glass, pure, silent desperation. Bear stood. Floorboards groaned under his weight. Heads turned. He walked over, carrying his untouched water, and set it gently before Anna-Lara. "Here. Looks like you could use this." Her eyes lifted, fear, then fragile hope. Robert surged up. "This is private. Go back to your seat." "Doesn't look private," Bear said evenly. "Ma'am, are you all right? You seem distressed." "She's fine," Richard snapped, gripping her arm again. "Just confused today." "She looks thirsty," Bear replied, nudging the glass closer. "Drink. It's just water." Silence stretched, thick and electric. Anna-Lara's shaking hand closed around the glass. Richard's fingers dug in. Bear met his eyes. No words, just a stare that peeled away the clean-cut mask, promising broken things if he didn't let go. Slowly, Richard released her. Anna-Lara drank, long, desperate swallows. Color crept back into her face. She set the empty glass down, breathing hard. "Thank you," she whispered. "Enough," Robert stepped forward. "Leave, or I'll call the police." "Call them," Bear growled. "I'm sure the sheriff wants to know why you're denying an old woman water, and what those papers are you're forcing her to sign." Robert paled. The waitress behind the counter held a phone, giving Bear a tiny nod. Help was coming. "This is none of your concern," Richard hissed. "We're her nephews. Her legal caretakers." "Caretakers," Bear echoed, dripping sarcasm. "Funny way of showing it." He eased back a step. "Ma'am, why don't you and Lily come with me? We'll wait for the sheriff outside." Robert blocked her. Bear's arm extended, not grabbing, just walling him off. "Don't touch her." The nephews traded a glance, then stepped aside. "Fine. Let's talk outside." Bear nodded to Anna-Lara and Lily. "Stay right behind me." They stepped into harsh sunlight. The nephews flanked them, cutting off escape. "You've made a big mistake," Richard said low. "You don't know who you're dealing with." Two cowards who bully an old woman and a child, Bear answered, planting himself between them and his charges. Robert pulled his phone. I'm reporting an attempted kidnapping. She's a vulnerable adult. A siren wailed in the distance, growing closer. The nephews froze. Panic cracked their composure. We're leaving, Robert snapped. They bolted to a sedan, tires spitting gravel as they fled. Bear turned. Analara leaned against the diner wall, breathing ragged. Lily's tears cut clean tracks through the dust on her cheeks. You're safe now, he said, softer than he knew he could. Sheriff and ambulance arrived fast. Paramedics checked Analara. She clutched her purse like a lifeline. Lily pointed. They took her pills out. Inside, a medical alert card, severe hypertrophic cardiomyopathy. Daily beta blocker missing, hours overdue. Empty bottle. And legal papers, power of attorney, revised will, giving Robert and Richard total control. Her signature wavered, half finished. They'd withheld her meds and water to weaken her, force the signature, then stage a quiet accident. Paramedics swore and started treatment immediately. The sheriff met Bear's eyes. Good thing you did here. Real good. Bear just nodded, throat tight. Lily wrapped her arms around his leg and wouldn't let go. A week later, Robert and Richard were caught crossing state lines. Overwhelming evidence, documents, medical records, waitress testimony, nailed them for elder abuse, fraud, conspiracy. Long sentences followed. Analara recovered swiftly once properly medicated and free of them. She and Lily moved to a quiet coastal town. Bear, Arthur, became family. His first visit felt awkward, Big Harley out of place in the peaceful street. But Lily ran out, hugged him hard, and Analara welcomed him with real coffee and the best apple pie he'd ever tasted. His club, the Sons of Redemption, adopted them too. Once a year, a pack of rumbling bikes rolled in, tattooed riders bringing toys for Lily, fixing fences and mowing lawns for Analara. Years later, on a bright afternoon, 18-year-old Lily stood on a graduation stage, diploma in hand, confident and radiant. In the crowd, Analara, silver hair gleaming, healthy and proud. Beside her, Arthur in his leather vest over a pressed shirt, beard trimmed, looking every inch the proud grandfather. That evening on their porch, sunset painting the sky orange and purple, they raised lemonade glasses. Lily spoke first. To the heroes who don't wear capes. Arthur smiled, rare, gentle. And to the small voices with the courage to roar. Glasses clinked, crickets sang. One moment of paying attention, one choice to step in, hadn't just saved 2 lives, it had built a family from courage and compassion. Heroes don't always wear capes. Sometimes they wear leather and ride a Harley. Sometimes they're just the stranger who refuses to look away.